was asked to do this. It happened to be a really rough day in HR. I was super frustrated. I was dealing with a workplace investigation, and I walk into my executive vice president's office, and I'm complaining about this investigation. And he asked me this question: why are you in HR? And I went back to my office and said, oh my gosh, did I just vent this much about HR? I have a student that works for me. I've now scared her off of HR for the rest of her life. So I really took it to heart and thought about why I love HR. And I hope after I'm done, everybody wants to be HR students. So why I love HR. One is it's problem solving. I love fixing problems. I'm a puzzler. I love it all. So in HR, 90% of our time is just solving problems. Just recently with that workplace investigation, I had to solve a problem in that we went through the investigation. The manager wasn't at fault. We weren't at fault. But we knew this was a long-term employee. They were a hard worker. They just had a communication breakdown with their manager, and we knew they weren't going to work in this department with this manager anymore. And so we came up with the solution of finding a position for them elsewhere in the company. So we allowed them to move. It actually worked out great for us because it was a task that we really needed taken care of. So we were able to retain an employee that was a good worker, fix some of the work dynamics and the problem that was happening. And then also, anytime you can end a workplace investigation and keep everybody and make everybody happy, you're protecting your company. So second is helping others. People spend a bunch of their life at work, and we're their resource. We're their people to make their lives better. I have so many stories of helping people. One of my favorite things to do, though, as HR professionals, help people in their careers and help people become who they want to be. We had an employee who worked in our warehouse, and he came to me one day and he said, Jessica, I love working for Fifth Sun. This is the company I want to spend my life at, but I have no college degree. I have nowhere to go, and I'm not going to be able to live off a warehouse salary for the rest of my life. I said, okay, do you know what you want to do? No, I don't know what I want to do. I want an office job. I said, okay. So I had him meet with the directors in all of our departments. I said, meet with them. These people love our employees. They'll want to encourage you. Every single department manager is going to try and get you to work in their department. So he came out of it. He said, I think I want to do accounting. Great choice. Accounting jobs are great. So I said, awesome. Let's put you on a weekend shift so you can start going to school. So he went back to school. He's currently getting his accounting degree and works on the weekends to help pay for school. And we get to keep a really good employee and start preparing him for his next career. So we're already planning out when he's ready and graduated to have a job for him so he can keep on working for us. And then lastly, HR is always full of new challenges. Every day is a learning curve, and I love that. Recently, my company acquired another company. I hadn't been through an acquisition in my career. All I had done was learn about it in an HR class, which I'm sure some of you will. And we decided to do it and made the decision a month before the beginning of the year, and decided we were going to start it with the beginning of the year because that's a great time to bring on a bunch of new employees and merge the financials. So I had about a month to plan merging our two companies, bring 30 employees on board, go through that whole process, but also, most importantly, make sure those employees felt welcomed, make sure we adapted our culture to meet their culture, and have everybody integrate really well together, and also try and fit 30 people in our building, which involved a lot of construction projects. So that's a random challenge that sometimes HR people get tasks with. Some extras that have helped me in my HR career. One is my MBA. I'm not saying everybody go out and get an MBA. You have to have one. But what I will say is my takeaway from the MBA program, being an HR professional, is that you learn a broad scope of business skills. You learn about marketing and sales and analytics, so that when you reach that point in your HR career, you can be a true business partner because you understand what the balance sheet is. When they're telling you to look at the labor and you're seeing that line item on the balance sheet and you're comparing it to sales forecasts, you can speak to it and you can speak to the future of the company by looking at labor. So it really gives you that broad scope. Also, I learned Excel like nobody's business in the MBA program, and Excel is a phenomenal tool, regardless of what career you go into. So I would encourage those of you that are getting specific degrees to still focus a lot of time on all of your business classes because you'll find they make you a really well-rounded employee. SPHR. So for those who don't know what that is, it's a senior professional in human resources. Second hardest test I've taken in my life. The first would be the GMAT to get the master's degree. And the reason I have that on here is it's an accredited body, and it's not just about the test, but it really focuses not just on labor law, but how you apply it and how you make business decisions based on labor law. So it kind of gives you that practice and how to critically think through problems instead of just reading from a book. Practical use. And then lastly, something I would not have thought I needed as an HR professional, but I have found very helpful, would be mental health first aid certification. So this is something I just had an opportunity to take a training, and I jumped on it like I usually do. And it's something I've found super helpful. Like I said earlier, people spend so much of their time at work, and as HR professionals, it's an opportunity for us to intervene. And being mental health first aid certified means that I see warning signs like tardiness or missed work, not just as that employee's lost their work ethic, but is there something else going on? Does somebody need to reach out to them? And it's helped. I've had employees that are going through suicidal situations. I've had employees that I've helped get into rehab. It gives you the tools you need to talk to people about this and also know where to draw the line so that you don't hold yourself liable. Moment to inspire, because I'm an HR professional, and that's what I like to do. So, who knows exactly what they're going to do after they graduate? Raise your hand. Oh, look at you guys. Number 2 is for you. So, if you don't know what you want to do, it's okay, I didn't either. I actually went and worked at a hotel after my recreation degree and was a wedding planner for all of 3 months before I realized I absolutely hated it and decided to go back to school and switch careers. Second step, be okay with change. Things are going to change, and you're allowed to change your path. When I started my career in HR, I worked in the public sector. I worked actually for Chico State for about 10 years, and I loved it. I thought my whole world was going to be public sector, and I was so excited about it. And then I got to a point in my career where I realized I'm never going to get to be a true business partner. I'm never going to use the awesome skills I learned in my master's program because it's so defined. And not in a bad way, but there's a lot of labor unions and state laws that are involved with working for public. And so I made the scary decision of leaving a job with security, with vesting, with benefits. I left with nothing, like no job in place, and said I'm going to focus 100% of my time on finding a job in the private sector that's going to give me the growth I want. So be okay changing your path. And lastly, don't settle. I'm not saying you're going to find your dream job as soon as you get in college, because if you think so, that's just not true. You got to work hard for it, and you got to be willing to start at the bottom and work your way up. What I'm saying is don't settle for culture or a company you're unhappy with. Make sure that where you want to build your career is a company that you're going to be passionate about, because that's what we as employers want. We want employees that are passionate about working for us, and you should want it too. You shouldn't want to go to work just to do a job. You should want to go to work because you're passionate about what you do. And it's so rewarding when you find that. When I started at Fifth Sun, I had no idea what they did. I had no idea their culture, but they're a creative company at heart. And I found the amount of creation and opportunity and the value of everyone's opinions and felt like home. When you find your right place, you know it. So don't settle. Make sure you find somewhere you want to have your passion. And then lastly, because I like people to leave my office happy and stress-free, so I always like people with kids. So there you go.